The latest wipe in Tarkov has arrived a while ago, around Christmas time, and I have to say it's looking great. Sure, there's a few bugs and quirks to work out, but when you compare it to the wipe before, it's like night and day. Let's dive into some of the major changes and why these changes are so important for Tarkov. For the first 2 weeks after the wipe, the flea market is locked. Honestly, this might be one of the best changes the game has seen in years. And the flea market locking actually also got extended as well. So we ended up having around 3 weeks in total of locked flea market. Now there's actually a real incentive to take your time looting. You never know when you'll find that golden attachment that you won't see again for a few raids. This change forces players to get creative with weapon builds and slows down the economy in the early wipe. This makes encounters feel more engaging, and remembering the old days when by day 3 everyone had meta gear because they could just buy it all off the flea market, it was very repetitive. Now, suppressors are much rarer, and I'm all for that. Suppressors should feel like a luxury, not something that everybody's packing by day 2. It's refreshing to hear gunfire again in raids, so they don't feel dead anymore. Let's talk about the camera recoil. It's back, and I've never been a fan of it, but honestly, this current version isn't too bad. When you fire in full auto, it feels like my PMC's head is slightly rattled every time the gun goes off. It's subtle, but it adds a nice bit of realism. It could probably be toned down just a smidge, but it's a huge improvement over the old recoil system that felt more like getting punched in the face with every shot. If camera recoil has to be a thing, then this is definitely the version that we want to be using. This wipe, DMRs and semi-autos are proving to be really strong choices.
Boom. Headshot.
However, full auto weapons are still effective, so you can definitely go with those as well. The dynamics generally are shifting, but full auto is still a solid choice. Moving on to customs, where the map has undergone some notable changes. There are now new connectors between areas, which makes the map feel more open. It's almost like reserve. They've added a direct link between power station and skeleton, which is a cool improvement. However, I'm not fully sold on the new buildings that overlook skeleton. They've really changed the flow of combat in that area. In the past, skeleton was the place for medium range fights, but now people can just hide in the buildings and get angles on you while you're out in the open. There's a bit of a letdown for me because I love those open gunfights. Let's talk about Fortress and customs. It's now essentially a kill zone. What used to be a nice, strong defensive position to hold is literally just a death trap because of all the new angles that players can use to shoot in. So if you're heading there, get in and then get out, because don't try to hold that position for too long. You're gonna get killed. The audio. Is the audio great now? Well, expecting perfect audio in Tarkov is like expecting a race car driver to signal before changing lanes. It's a hopeful expectation, but not always realistic. That said, the audio is definitely better than it was in the last wipe. At least now you can hear someone sprinting up behind you if they're close, but I don't know. But let's not count on it. There's definitely still issues here in the audio department of Tarkov. Now, found in raid. The found in raid requirement for crafting items in the hideout.
Loser!
Yeah, I am a bit torn on this one. It obviously encourages players to get out and play more. You won't be able to hide in your corner forever, especially if you want to upgrade your hideout. But on the flip side, if you're playing a standard account or any non-upgraded account, upgrading your stash just got way harder, and it's definitely a grind. It was a grind before. I mean, yes, you could just pay with rubles, but now it is really a grind. And for those lower edition accounts, I kind of feel sorry for you. This grind has now just been made a lot harder. On the bright side, there is a huge positive change in the hideout, which is customization. You can now decorate your hideout with items like posters, figurines, and other things. It's a great way to add a bit of personality and reward players for completing various side quests and achievements. However, there is still no cap, which Battlestate mentioned a while ago. Winter camo finally made its way into the game, and I'm here for it. Winter themed gear for helmets, armor, PMC outfits, some of the best looking stuff. It looks cool, and with the snow being around still, then yeah, it's pretty good. Another cool feature is the weather events. They can be very annoying, but you know, it is a snowstorm, so it's not going to be a walk in the park. The thing that really annoys me about the new weather effects mostly is the frost effect on the screen. I think this could be dialed back just a bit. It just covers so much screen real estate, and I would say it's worse than the old painkiller effect. It's annoying. So SCAVS. One minor issue, SCAVS in these weather conditions, they're a little OP. They can see you, you can't see them through the snowstorms. They can even suppress fire through it without any line of sight. It feels a bit bullshit, especially when you're stuck in the middle of a snowstorm and there's nothing you can do about it. Yeah. So overall, these changes that came with this wipe were a massive improvement to Tarkov, and I am excited to see more, and the direction that they're going in, battle state that is a good one. I feel like maybe now is the time for a lot of people to jump back in, but we'll just have to wait and see. Anyway, thanks so much for watching, and if you made it all the way to the end, I really appreciate it. Hope you enjoyed the video.